That's cute.
Welcome, everybody. I am super excited to be back with you all tonight. I'm just giving it a minute in order to let some people hop on. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I share this stream. Do me a favor. If you are on and you are watching with us, do me a huge favor. Make sure that you hit that share button and you share the stream to all your channels. Let your people know that we are here and that we are ready to have some selfish talk today. I'm super excited because, as you guys know, every week I'm coming to you and I'm bringing you one of the speakers from the conference. We've done our panelists so far, and I have another wonderful dynamic speaker with me tonight. So I'm super excited. So I need everybody to come on in the room. Go ahead, share. Make sure you tell everybody I'm doing the same. I'm sharing. I'm letting everybody know that I'm on. Let me make sure I do my part while I await you all to do your part as well, because tonight's conversation is going to be awesome. So, in particular, ladies, what I need y'all to do is I need you to go and tag your lady friends, because this is ladies' night, as I like to call it. Selfish Talk is all about the ladies, at least for this go around. So make sure that you are sharing. I'm making sure that I'm sharing. And then we're going to jump on. And then we're just going to jump into it. And so I got one more place to share. One more place to share and one more group, and then we're going to get into the conversation. And so tonight, I am super excited to have Minister Quionne Matchett on with me tonight. Minister Quionne is one of our esteemed speakers. She is actually the VIP speaker at the VIP luncheon for the Rhythm of Life Women's Wellness Conference. Ladies, listen to me. If you have not registered for the Rhythm of Life Women's Wellness Conference, I don't even know why you haven't registered yet. It is going to be phenomenal. Listen, we just locked in a DJ who's going to be with us all day. She is going to be on the ones and twos. We got DJ Lil. She's going to be emceeing for us. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a fun time. We have some goodies in store. So I need you to make sure that you go ahead and register for the conference. Right now, if you go to the Oasis Wellness Group Instagram page, if you go to the Oasis Wellness Group Facebook page, I am actually doing a raffle. I'm giving away a regular registration and a VIP registration. So what I need you to do is go ahead, fill out the form, get your name in a pot, and then next Monday, I will be doing the raffle drawing live via our Selfish Talk. So make sure you go ahead and you get yourself in the pot, but register for the conference. And listen, I just said Minister Quionne is the VIP speaker. VIP registration ends on the 18th. Listen, after tonight, I guarantee y'all going to want to hear what she has to say at the conference. So I see y'all coming in slowly. As you come in, introduce yourself, drop a comment, let us know that you are here. But I'm super excited. Again, I have Minister Quionne Matchett. And tonight, we're going to be talking about sis. Go take a nap, because we all need to rest. So before we jump into the topic tonight, Minister Quionne, can you just introduce yourself to the people? Tell them a little bit about you.
Let's see. I'm a minister. I'm also an author, speaker, preacher. I'm a mom. And I just love to see women win. And one of the things I do is I teach women how to reset, how to bounce back from any life challenges, setbacks, right? That there are worse things than starting over, and how you can move forward in purpose and on purpose.
That's good. There are worse things than starting over. I need somebody to drop that in the comments for me. If you resonate with that, there are worse things than starting over. And that is so powerful. And truly, there are worse things than starting over.
Yes.
And sometimes we forget that. And that's not what we're talking about tonight. But I just think it's a great point for women in general. Mm-hmm. Women, like sometimes we get so one track minded that if something doesn't go right, we automatically say, oh my gosh, the world is over. But no, with every ending comes a new beginning. And so instead of just looking at the ending, we have to teach ourselves to lean into the new beginning that comes with it and the freshness of life that comes with it. So Minister Quionne,
rest helps us get there. Rest helps us get there.
Come on. Yeah. How so? How does rest help us to get there?
Rest was a big part of my reset. I guess it's been about going on 2 years now where I needed a break, right? I needed a break, not only from ministry. I took a break from my job right? I had to have surgery and I made full use of that time. There was so much going on in my life at that moment that I realized I needed to take a break and that I needed a moment to breathe and a moment to take care of me, not everyone else, right? But take care of Quionne.
Yeah.
And when I found rest, I found clarity. I found resolution. I found solutions, right? I found courage, because a lot of times with women, we keep going, going, going because we don't look at rest. We look like it's slowing down and I have to be productive. But I've learned that rest is productivity.
Come on.
It's just productivity in a different way. It leads you to discover yourself and it gives time for God to talk to you because everything else was competing with my time, right? I couldn't really hear clearly from him because I was doing so much. And not that that's a bad thing that, you're serving, you're working, you're taking care of your children, your family. But there are moments when your body starts to react, right? I was gaining weight, couldn't lose weight. I couldn't sleep, right? I was stressed. And once I got rest, that's when I got clarity.
I love that idea of rest garners clarity. And so it reminds me of, so recently I started, as many of you know, I am on a fertility journey, working to bring this baby into the world. And so recently I decided I didn't want to take a medicinal route just yet to make that happen. So I decided to explore acupuncture. And I met with an acupuncturist. She's a phenomenal. Her name is Dr. Petit of Origin Acupuncture and Chiropractor. She is an acupuncturist and a chiropractor. She is a Christian woman of God. Like, listen, I walked into the office the first time and Maverick City is playing in the background.
I love it.
It's one of those things. I'm like, okay, I'm in the right place. And one of the things she explained about going through that fertility journey, she talked about the importance of rest. Right. And she talked about the importance of resting to de-stress. And she talked about how within our body, we have these information highways. And what happens is all the lights are supposed to be green. But something happens along the line where certain of our lights turn red and things stop flowing appropriately. And she was explaining to me that as I go through this process, learning to de-stress and learning to rest along with the treatments is going to help to turn those lights green so that my body will do what it is naturally designed to do. And I just thought that it was so powerful that she talked about in the midst of rest. When you do this thing properly, your body will do what it is naturally designed to do. And not just at a physical level, we're also talking about at an emotional level.
Absolutely.
Because when I'm at rest, my emotions will naturally do what they're designed to do. God created us to be self-repairing beings.
Absolutely.
That self-repair happens in rest. And that's what I hear you saying about your journey.
Absolutely. And I discovered too, because my doctor said the same thing. She said, well, how are you resting? When I was talking about weight gain and everything, she said, because when you're not getting your proper rest, that interferes with how your body retains weight, releases weight, that you're not getting what you need. And also our organs, like think about it, right? We need to rest so our body, like you said, can replenish itself, right? It does something to the heart and your vascular system for when your body, so when we keep going, you can't run a car all day. At some point, you need to let the car sit, right? Because it can overheat, right? You need to put gas in it. You have to maintain. It's the same way. And if God created the earth and then had to take a rest and break, he modeled the pattern for us.
Come on.
But we think now, especially in this technology age, and if you're an influencer, and I don't care what you're doing, if you have a business, if you're a speaker, like you have to be on social media. So there is also this thing to compete and this thing to, I have to create, I have to post, but you need to learn how to rest because that's where clarity comes in, right? I got direction, not only from my health, but God gave me direction for my life. There were some decisions I was vacillating. But when I got clarity, came resolution to the point where I knew exactly what I needed to do. And I wasn't afraid to make those decisions, right? Because now my emotions, like you said, were healthy, right? And I did other things. I had a team along with resting. I had my physicians. I had my counselor. I had my pastors. Come
Come
on.
on.
I had to build a team to go along with rest, sabbatical, taking a break so that I wasn't just not doing anything. I was doing something. And
Mhm.
as I was resting, God was giving me the direction that I needed in every
Yeah.
area of my life.
Yeah. I love that. I love when you talk about just looking at building a team around your
Hmm.
rest, right? Building that
Hmm.
support system, because it's not one or the other. There are
Nope.
like, okay, you can rest, right? But when you get up from your rest, then what do? Because oftentimes what happens, many of us will rest, then we'll get up from our rest and we'll walk right back into the same
That
toxic
part.
mindset, toxic situations, toxic work environment, or whatever the case is. So it's like all that rest you done got, it just went out the window because nothing surrounding it actually changed, right? And
Yep.
so rest, even though it's a state of nothingness, it's an active process.
Come on
I
now.
need somebody to hear me.
That's
Rest is the
good.
state of nothingness, but it is an active process, right? Because you will constantly find yourself in a place of being drained. And I want to submit to you that there's a difference between having a nap, taking a nap or whatever, or taking a day off and rest. When we talk about rest, we're talking about a perpetual state of being. We talk
Yes.
about an idea of Sabbath. That is a perpetual state of being. It is not,
Yes.
you guys will hear me say this oftentimes. Self-care is not a binge event, it's a lifestyle, right? And so if
Good.
you just took the one weekend or you went on the one vacation, you didn't actually practice self-care. You went on a vacation. Self-care means that I've contributed and I've submitted myself to a lifestyle of
Hmm.
rest. And so can you just talk really quickly and give some points on, like, how did you work to create a lifestyle of rest?
Whew. So one of the things I discovered, and you'll this is familiar to you, and we were in MIT together in the book
Mhm.
that we were assigned to read, about emotional healthy leadership, spirituality, all that stuff. The importance of knowing what your delights are. Because what I discover, and your delights are those things that bring you joy, right? What makes you happy. Because what happens, if we're honest, whether you're, a wife, you're a single woman, you're building your career,
Mhm.
you have children, all your attention gets diverted to them, right? And we
100%.
often leave ourselves for last, whatever's
Yeah.
left over. And I forgot. This is what I discovered when we had to do that assignment to say, what are your delights? It took me a while to remember what are my delights? But as I
Mhm.
began to get rest, those
Mhm.
things started coming back to me.
Mhm.
Oh, I do enjoy walks in the park. I do like
Mhm.
going swimming, right?
Mhm.
I do
Mhm.
like being in my car, blasting the music up and singing to the songs like I'm in
Yeah.
concert, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
those small things. It doesn't have to be go get my nails done, a pedicure. I love those things too. But it's like a great meal, going to try a new restaurant,
Yeah. Yeah.
anything, what it is that brings you delight, and practice that. Like you said,
Yes.
it's a
Yes.
lifestyle. Now I
Yeah.
look for moments like that. If I can't go on a vacation, I might do a staycation, or I might just get away for the day and do some of
100%.
the things that bring me joy, because that
Yeah.
replenishes my spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love how you, and I think that's an important designation to make as well. Rest isn't always just
Hmm.
laying in the bed, Netflix and chill. Rest could be going to the beach. Rest could
Yep.
be taking myself out to eat, going to a restaurant. Rest could be, you know what, I'm going to take myself to a movie. Like, rest is simply a state of replenishing yourself. So I
Hmm.
want us to think of this differently, right? Anytime we think of rest, and then we think that, oh, it's not being productive, because we just think of this, I'm just, lazy Susan laying around in my pajamas, which is nothing wrong with that, because my favorite
Nothing.
activity to do is to stay home all day in my bed,
Yes.
eat some snacks and Netflix. Okay. So
Me
I'm
too.
not y'all, because oftentimes if I tell you I'm resting, you best believe that I'm at home with my feet up. But I can also be rested by enjoying life. And
Yes.
I think that is so important, because we miss out on enjoying life. So even in rest, don't become a prisoner. Don't become a prisoner to it. Enjoy life
Hmm.
in the process, right? Allow
Hmm.
your rest to get you to discover new things. Recently I was on a podcast interview with Dr. Joyce Mallory. And I love her so much. She's 83 years old. And when I say she's mastered this concept and talking with
Mm-hmm.
her, I can't wait till you guys hear the podcast. Her thought process and her concept behind rest, she's like, as I get older, my bucket list gets longer because
Wow.
I find what brings me joy and what is restful for me is trying new things,
I
having new
love it.
experiences, and so that I die with no regrets. This 83-year-old woman,
Love
y'all,
it.
her bucket list is getting longer, and she's trying. And listen, you will catch Dr. Joyce will hop on a plane and meet us in Florida for the Roadmap to Destiny
That is the
conference.
truth.
Okay. Dr. Joyce is going to do all the things, but she says that she's doing this from a place of self-care and a place of rest because she gets to live out loud. And that
That
is
is
her
so
state of
good.
rest. And I love that so much, right? And so rest is also active. It can be a
Mm-hmm.
state of doing nothing, but it's also a very active process. So I love that. And so for you, what did you find? Like, what was the point that you reached where you were just like, okay, something absolutely has to change or I'm going to lose it?
Oh my goodness. Um, I was going through so much. My
Mm-hmm.
marriage kind of the bottom of it fell out. Um, I was devastated. I felt betrayed. I felt so many things, right? There was a root of it called, anger, but the betrayal is what made the anger come up. But before that, I was already, in a state of my health started declining, right? They were talking about my A1C number and I may have to be put on diabetic medication and my blood pressure was going up. I got put on blood pressure medication. And so all these things were going on, to the point where I went to my doctor one day and I just burst out in tears, and even the medical doctors are starting to ask you now, how do you feel? Do you have any thoughts of suicide, depression, which I think is so good that they're
Yeah,
looking at the total person.
yeah,
And
yes.
that's when I knew that something had to change. And what I was hoping, if I'm honest, is that externally those things were going to change, that somehow it was just going to work out, right? I was going to pray and God was going to do it. But he
Mm-hmm.
challenged me. He was like, no, this is something you're going to do. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I began to be honest with my doctors, be honest with my counselor, be honest with my pastors. And
Mm-hmm.
I began they set up a plan for me, right? It was all connected, right? Each person giving me advice, just saying, this is how we think you should go about it. And it
Yeah.
took me a while, it took me months to make the decision. But what I
Right.
realized was I was so stuck in my pain that
Mm.
it was I had to do something radical.
I love
And
that.
so,
Come on.
yeah, I had to do something radical. And that's what led me to rest. It led me
Yeah.
to rest. And from there, that's when I could have the courage to walk out the steps that I needed to walk
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I love that you say that it took you to do something radical
Mm-hmm.
because if I'm honest, I feel like for a lot of people, in order to see a difference and to see a shift, a lot of people have to do something radical.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are going to have to make a change that seems abrupt, that seems out of nowhere, that seems like, whoa, like, you know what I'm saying? Because oftentimes, yes, small steps and we honor small steps. But if I'm honest, I'm not a small step person.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Me either.
if I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Like, when I was out in the world living my life, when I did it, I did it. Like, if I'm
me
gonna do it,
too.
I'm gonna do it. So I feel like when it comes to us and when it comes to taking care of ourselves, we have to make the decision and say, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And
Yes.
not hear what other people have to say
That
within your
part.
process and your self-care process. Because if I'm honest, I teetered back and forth on whether I was even going to tell people that I was exploring acupuncture. And then one
Mm-hmm.
day I woke up and I said, these folks ain't the one trying to bring this baby into the world.
There
These
you go.
the one trying to get this body aligned. And me and my husband made a decision
Yeah.
that we didn't want to go the medicinal route just yet if we didn't have to. And so, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? Bump what everybody else have to say. I'm going to do what I resolved, what I prayed about, what I sought God on. And this was my radical step and my radical move towards my next.
Yes. Yes. I love
I,
it because you
yeah.
do. It has to be radical. And a lot of times we'll put our health last.
Come
And
on.
that's what I mean. Like your rest will help you realize. And like you said, it's not just, rest, taking a sabbatical, but what you're doing while you're on. Because so I didn't just take a break. I had specific steps, right? I had to go see my doctor. I had to go see my therapist. I had to check in and let my pastors know how I was doing, what I'm working towards, so that you are still working toward a goal and not just coming back to the same thing. And I knew for the purpose that God has for me, and this is for everybody, you have to have a rhythm of solitude and rest, or you're going to burn out and crash.
Explain a rhythm of solitude and rest for the people.
You have to, like you just said, whether it's practicing your delights, whether that's taking a vacation. For some people, it might be quarterly, I'm going on a vacation. But even beyond that, it's every once a month or every 2 months, I have to disconnect, right? If it's just Netflix and chill, and I do that very well. When I feel like I'm like, ooh, I need to, and I mean, disconnect your phone, like put it down. Don't answer your phone. People will be okay. I learned that people find other people when they can't find you. They
How about that?
They will. We feel like, I'm not someone's savior. I don't have all the answers. And today is my day. And so it's just finding that rhythm for your life. What works for you? If it's every month, if it's every 2 weeks, whatever it is finding that rhythm to keep you in step so that you can fulfill and continue to walk out what God has called you to do.
Yeah.
That could be mothering your children. I don't what your, life is, but you have to even disconnect from that, right? You're a great mom, but I realized too, Chanel, I became a better mom. I became a better daughter. I became a better minister and a friend when I learned to practice rhythm of solitude and rest.
Yeah. And what we have to understand is when I am in my most well and rested state, everybody else experiences the overflow of that.
Oh, good.
Like when I am at my best, because what we think is we will, and here's the thing, I'm not saying not to pour yourself out for other people. Like there's some people, I don't care what I'm doing, I'm dropping everything, I'm getting up and I'm going, right? You lean into those inconveniences, you lean into those moments or whatever. But when I'm in a perpetual state of just a better me, you get the better of me, right? While I'm not rested, while I'm not tired and all of these things, you're getting whatever I can give you in a moment. And it ain't the best. I'm not thinking clearly. I know for me, what I had to realize about me, when I'm tired, I can't make any decisions. When I'm tired, I can't do no counseling. Like for real, if I'm really tired, I'm going to cancel sessions for the day because my clients are not going to get the best of me and I'm going to be hurt. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, that's just real because I'm a therapist, but I'm human. And I realize when I'm rested, I can handle conflict better. When I'm rested, I can make better decisions. When I'm rested, like I can let things roll off my shoulder. When I'm not rested, it's like,
come on now.
You got something to say? I got something to say too. But when I'm rested, like, God bless you. As Pastor Joy would say, bless your heart. Like,
come on now.
I am just an altogether better me from a rested state. And so what happens? What would it look like? And this is a say-like question for all of us. What would it look like if we perpetually operated from a place of rest?
So good. So good.
Think about that for a second. If you are listening today, even if you're watching a replay, what might your life look like if you operated from a perpetual place of rest? Not binge events, not, okay, I got this one weekend out of the last 6 months, and so I'm going to take this weekend and I'm going to try to get all the rest in. Because here's the reality, y'all. And I know I'm not the only one. You ever go a long time without getting rest, and then you finally think you got a weekend to rest, and then you sleep and you wake up and you still tired?
Still tired.
Because it's not just about your sleep.
Come on now.
It's about everything that you're doing around you to create capacity for rest. It's about that rhythm. It's about what does your schedule look like, right?
Yes.
You can sleep all you want and you will never be rested.
No, I was just about to say during that time I was sleeping, but I wasn't resting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't getting that proper time. I wasn't in a place where I could hear clearly from the Lord about what I needed to do, where I needed to go, because there were so many other things. I was irritable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't really function. You can't function the way, like you said, at work and other things where maybe before really wouldn't bother me, but now it's to the 10th power, right?
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
why we need to take naps. I have a friend, if she doesn't take a nap or she doesn't eat, it's those two things. We're like, girl, go home, take a nap, and we'll come back and pick you up
Come on.
because
Come on.
it is so real.
Yeah.
And I'm learning even with my age, I don't bounce back from things as quickly as I used to either. And so I think rest is realizing that, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
accepting it, like, okay, I need to, after I have a cold or whatever, I need to take a couple of days. Maybe I need to build in some time in my schedule. I can't go from one engagement right to the another one. I
Yeah.
need to create some space where
Yeah.
I let my body, my voice, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, rejuvenate itself. Now I'm refreshed.
Yeah.
Now I can, go to the next thing.
I love that. And so, Minister Quionne, your topic for the conference is selfish rest. Selfish rest. Don't get a people all the nuggets because they got to
Okay.
register and come to the VIP session. But when I first gave you the topic of selfish rest, what does selfish rest mean for you?
Selfish rest means for me, the process I went through a couple of years ago. I had to become selfish. I had to put myself, prioritize me over other people, over what I thought people would say, what they would think, how they would feel about it, what it would make me look like. I had
That's
to,
good.
yeah, it was. And I think that's what had me stuck for so long. I was really caring about how it looked. I'm a minister. How is this going to look? But at the end of the day, I'm a human being, right? And if I don't take care of me and become selfish, right,
Mhm.
I'm not going to get where I need to be. And I'm not going to be any good. I may not make it. I think
Right.
for me, it was that critical because what
Mhm.
I heard was trauma is trapped in your body. Like
Come
you have to do this. I felt an urgency about it. And
on.
that's what we're going to talk. There's an urgency sometimes to
Come on.
being like red lights, right? Because pain is an indicator, right?
Come on.
Your body is sending you the signals. You're
Yep.
just choosing to ignore it.
Yep. Yep. And your body sends you the signals and all kinds of like, man, I'm learning so much to listen to my body. So not only, okay, I just started with the acupuncture, but I
Mm-hmm.
started seeing a massage therapist twice a month. Since September, I see a massage therapist twice a month. And not only do I get massages, she also does stretch. And
Mm.
recently I got a stretch and she verbalized to me, she was just like, I'm liking what I see in your body. Like I can see flexibility or different things like that, right? But there was a time when I first started out with her, she's like, your body is brick hard.
Come on. I
She
bet it
was like,
was.
she was just like, I am concerned. Your body feels like bricks. Like literally, that's the terminology she used. She said, your body feels like bricks. And I'm just like, well, I'm not doing anything specifically to cause it or whatever, but just this idea, right? When you talk about your body as an indicator, are you breaking out? Are you having stomach issues? Like
Hives.
listen. I reached a point when I knew it was a problem. I literally had to peel myself out of bed because I had
Mm-hmm.
no energy. And when I say
Mm-hmm.
no energy, like I can't even explain what it was. Like something shifted over the last like month or so, and I praise God. But the last like 4 months, I had found myself peeling myself out of the bed for things I would normally just spring up out the bed and get ready for,
Mm-hmm.
no issue or whatever. Your body is an indicator. And so the other question is, what is your body telling you?
Come on now.
Are you listening?
Mm-hmm.
Are you listening? There's something within a mental health realm called somatic disorders.
Mm-hmm.
Somatic disorders are mental health and emotional disorders that manifest through the body.
Wow.
And so, what is found with somatic disorders, oftentimes, if a client presents and we can't find any, like if you go to the doctor, you'll tell a doctor, I got ulcers or whatever, and the doctor is like, we can't find any physical root for what is happening in your body.
Mm.
So normally at that time, the doctor would say, okay, I'm gonna pass you along to a therapist because there's something emotional that is happening that is causing your body to be an indicator.
Wow.
Like, this is real. Like, I want y'all to hear this. Like, this is real. When Minister Quionne just told us, it was manifesting in her body, whether it
Mm-hmm.
was her weight, whether it was her blood pressure, whether
Mm-hmm.
it was her A1C, like it was
Mm-hmm.
manifesting in your body. And if some of us actually stopped and thought about it, our body is telling us a whole lot more than we're actually paying attention to.
It's true. My vitamin D level was low. That has to do with
Right.
energy and things like that. And so it's like, when was the last time? Because here's rest for me too that I learned. And selfish, rest, selfish,
Mhm.
care for yourself,
Right.
getting your blood work done, going to your checkups, finding
Legit.
out. No, seriously.
Legit. And so when I found it, when I had 4 months of peeling myself out of the bed, I went to the
Mm-hmm.
doctor, got some blood work. And when she got the blood work, she was like, how are you standing? I'm like, what? She's like, your body isn't saturated iron.
Come on.
It's like I had no iron in my. She was like, your body is not saturating iron. So I went 4 months of feeling like I'm a die. I can have a smile to give. I'm showing up and I'm trying to best, like getting through church. Like I love praise and worship, but I just had nothing to give.
Nothing.
And something as simple as she's saying, your body is not saturated iron. So she gave me a prescription iron pill that's a slow release. And you know what? I've been feeling pretty good.
See, that's what I'm saying. Now, listen, I always tell people you could pray for healing, and Jesus is a healer. But you know
Mhm.
what? A lot of times it's us, because healing comes through iron pills, right?
Come
Healing
on,
comes through a
come
good
on,
stretch with a
come
massage.
on.
Healing comes through a lot of ways. But what it is, we always want him to do the work. We don't want to do any check in. And we have to be more responsible. That's selfish too. I'm going to go to the doctor and I don't care. I'm not going to be afraid of what these numbers look like, but I'm going to submit. I'm going to get my blood work done. And now look at you. You feel better.
Come on, come
Yeah.
on. Simply for some blood work. Like that was
Blood work.
self-care. I'm so glad you said that because
Yes.
self-care, we only focus on self-care being a relaxation aspect. Self-care is so much more than massages,
It
y'all.
is.
Self-care, especially as women, our bodies
Yes.
go through so many changes. So many changes. There's so many hormones flowing through our body. Like you gotta stay stop. Go for your yearly checks.
Mm-hmm.
You schedule your yearly checks.
Just the yearly.
Schedule your dental clean. Right. At least the yearly. I
Yes.
literally know people, I talk to people, and they legit tell me they haven't been to a doctor in 10 years.
And that's terrible. Yeah.
But you know what? That's the norm.
Yeah.
It's the norm that people are not just going, I just want to make sure I'm good, make sure
Mm-hmm.
everything is
Yeah.
aligned or whatever. So when we talk about selfish rest, I love that. And man, I hope y'all grab onto that. It is so much more than
Mm-hmm.
just the state of doing nothing. When Minister Quionne is trying to tell y'all that she had to get active in her process of rest, she
Yeah.
had to get active to do what she had to do for herself emotionally, active to do what she had to do for herself on a physical level,
Yeah.
active to do what she had to do on a spiritual level, and active to do what she had to do so she can just settle the air around her just to truly
Yes.
get rest in the truest sense of the word. So, Minister Quionne,
Absolutely.
before we wrap up, what is one point tonight that you want to give to the people watching about selfish rest?
I just feel to keep saying this. There's an urgency to you getting and doing this for yourself. I mean, for some of you, it could be a matter of a life or death,
Mhm.
physically, or it could be spiritually, emotionally. Are you going to continue to live the life you're living in this way? Are you going to take a stand and say, I am making myself a priority? And chips fall where they may. Sometimes there are relationship shifts, there are things that happen, but you have to. Because if you are going to do and pursue your purpose, advance the kingdom, I don't care what it is, be a CEO boss, you have to make selfish rest a priority. so
Come
that
on.
you can accomplish those things.
It's a must. I love that. Listen, y'all, she is speaking of urgency. Somebody drop in the
Mhm.
comments, it's urgent. This is a matter of life. And you know what? It really is a matter of life and death.
Yes. Because guess what? I could have had a mental breakdown. And I'm not saying that jokingly. I'm being dead serious. I
Mm-hmm.
really believe I was on the verge. If
Mm-hmm.
I did not make that radical step to make
Mm-hmm.
selfish rest for me, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what led me out of the
Come on.
darkness. Because I was
Come
in a
on.
dark place. I
Come
was
on.
functioning, but I wasn't functioning well. I was
Yeah.
getting the job done, but at the same time, I was suffering. I was suffering physically, mentally, emotionally. But the moment I realized how urgent it was, that's what the priority. And don't wait for that to happen. That's what I want to
Come
say.
on.
Use me as an example. Don't wait for that.
Don't wait.
No, do it now. Like you're saying, make it part of your maintenance of your routine. So then now it doesn't have to get to, it's an urgent thing like you need iron and all these
Come
things. We
on.
don't need to do that.
Come
So
on.
learn a lesson from what me and Chanel shared with y'all tonight.
Come on. She is talking about preventative care.
Yes.
That's why when we say go to the doctor, do the things, it's preventative care. Oftentimes we
Yes.
have to get reactive care because we waited until it was too late. Somebody
Yeah.
posted in a comment earlier that early detection can save your life. I want to
Yes.
submit to you that's not just about your physical health, that's
Come
about your
on.
spiritual health, that is
Yes.
about your emotional health. Early detection, that's a
Early
whole sermon.
detection. That's a
Somebody
whole
needs to preach
right
that.
there.
Early detection can save your life. And here's the thing,
Absolutely.
y'all. Detection often comes from sometimes it's people around you saying, "Sis, you okay?" See, we don't when people we get offended sometimes
Yep.
or whatever the case is. But sometimes the early detection is the pastor tapping you on the shoulder like,
Come
"You
on.
good?"
Yep.
You know, sometimes early detection is your husband giving you the side eye, like, what is wrong with you? Okay, like seriously,
It's true.
if you will stop and look, be preventative about your self-care. Don't be
Yes.
reactive.
No.
Don't be reactive because once you're reactive, you're constantly going to have to be reactive to try to crawl out of this ditch. But
Hmm?
when you're preventative, that means I already have everything that I need. So once I feel something going on, you could be like, I feel something going on. Let me make sure I check in with myself and I got to do what I got to do. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Minister Quionne, thank you so much. I am super excited about your talk at the VIP luncheon. I know it is going to be amazing. See, tonight she being all quiet and subdued, but what y'all really don't know is she is not quiet and subdued, and she is so dynamic and powerful. You are also a coach, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
tell people about what you do, your coaching.
I do reset coaching and I just started self-care coaching. And I'm going to speak more about that during the VIP luncheon after. But to help you, develop some healthy like boundaries around self-care, walk you through the process and hold you accountable so that you can continue to make self-care a priority for your life. Because that happens too with women, again, about starting over. It goes hand in hand. Like I can start over, but I got to start over in a healthy way. And so I can help you do that.
Exactly. So listen, y'all. If you want to hear from Minister Quionne at the Rhythm of Life conference, you got to register VIP. Like she is our VIP speaker, and I know it's going to be awesome. It's just going to be an amazing experience. For those of you who don't know, when you register as a VIP, you get the conference T-shirt, you get the swag bag, you get to attend a VIP luncheon, you get preferred seating, and all of the things. So you want to go ahead and register because VIP registration ends next Monday, March 18th. At 11:59 p.m. Hear me. VIP, because we got to make provisions. We want to make sure that the VIPs get everything that we promised for them. So you got to go ahead and make sure that you register for VIP by Monday, March 18th. I promise you it's going to be worth it. Like the conference in general is going to be phenomenal, but it's going to be worth it. If you want to hear from this dynamic woman of God, I would hate for you to miss it. So who's registered for the conference? If you registered, say me. If you're not registered, say not yet. But listen, I need to get y'all registered I just dropped in the chat the link for you to go ahead and register, as well as Selfish 10 is a 10% coupon code. You get 10% off whatever level of registration. Go ahead and get registered today. Listen, I know it's my conference, so people say this biasly. I promise you that this is going to be a good conference. What God is doing is blowing my mind. Okay. God is
Excited.
blowing my mind in this conference. That's all I can say. He's blowing my mind. We got Dr. Joy Morgan who's going to open up. She's a
Yes.
We have a dynamic panel. We have some workshops. We got self-care stations. We're building in some dance and movement into the self-care stations. I said earlier, I just booked a DJ. So the DJ is going to MC because we're going to have music. We're going to have a fun and amazing time as we learn to get our rhythm of life together, our rhythm of wellness. So make sure you go ahead and you register today. VIP again, it ends March 18th. And y'all, I just dropped today the raffle. Go to the Oasis Wellness Group pages. There's a link on there. If you want to try to win a VIP or regular registration, that raffle will end next Sunday. And on Monday, our live, I will be doing the raffle during live. So listen, make sure you get registered. Like I said, if you want to see Minister Kia, you're going to have to be in
Come
VIP.
on.
And no, you're not going to be able to VIP or register for VIP later, because we do want to keep it intimate. We want to keep it close. We want to give the opportunity for questions and for her to have space to really stretch out and be able to pour into the women that are part of that. So I, for one, am excited. But Minister Quionne, thank you so much for being my guest tonight and for being one of my keynotes for the conference. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be
I'm
amazing.
excited. So honored. I can't wait.
So much. So listen, everybody, that's all that we have for you tonight. Be sure that you join us next Monday night. Next Monday, I'll be coming with one of my panelists, Mayoki St. Florent. She's going to be coming, and we're going to be talking again about this journey of self-care on Selfish Talk. Make sure that you stay tuned in. If you guys have any questions, you know how to reach me. DM me, slide in my DMs, messenger me, email me, whatever the case may be. However we can help you on your self-care journey, let us know, and we will be there. Hope that you guys have an amazing night, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.